Hello, I'm Matt Leitholt, and I'm going to show you all about the Color Checker Passport by X-Ray. This thing is pretty dang cool. Basically, you take a picture of it in your shoot, and it allows you to pick the between the different color squares here and get a consistent color throughout all of your images during that lighting setup. And then say you go from a lit scenario inside the studio to outside where the lighting is different, you can keep the color consistent with this method. Alright, so first of all, you take a picture of the color checker. You want to make sure you don't touch these squares here because if you get grease on them, it'll eventually wear down and the color won't be accurate anymore. You have to get a new one. Also, the more you leave these open, the more they fade and the more they're not going to be accurate. So you got to keep this closed all the time except for when you're using it. He's actually holding it the wrong way. He should be holding it to where this part is at the top here, but it's no big deal. It'll still work. Alright, so second, you need to hold it by the gray card in the back. So you just open this thing up. This is the Color Checker Passport, and grab it by the gray card in the back, and then you hold on to it and you stick it right by the subject's face. And you want to make sure the light is catching it just right so that it can read the color off the light of the main person on their face or whatever the rest of the subject in the photo is imported. So say, for example, you're shooting a landscape. Just want to set it in front of you in the same light as the landscape. If you're shooting a product, you want to set it right by the product because you want to catch that light. Alright. So you're all done shooting and everything, and it's time to go into the computer and make the adjustments. This is where the Color Checker Passport really shines, okay? So you go to Lightroom here, and you go to the Color Checker Picker tool, or the Color Picker tool. This is for setting your white balance. You can set it any way you want it. Now on the color checker, this row right here is for portraits. So as you click here, that's a neutral gray. That's going to give you perfectly accurate color for portraits or for anything. Okay, that's just an 18% gray card essentially. That's standard throughout the industry. Now the cool thing with the Passport is you can warm things up incrementally. So if you're like a person who likes things to be warmer in your photos, you can use these different squares here to pick that. So you can click this, and do you see how it warmed it up with his skin tone here? You can keep clicking these, and it keeps going warmer. So say I like my photos to be really warm. I could use this little square here as my default one that I want to choose from. And every time I change my lighting setups, I can just click this little square here, and my color will be consistent throughout all my photos. Really neat. Now if you're a landscape shooter or a product shooter, you use this row here. And in this row, the middle square is neutral, so that's neutral, same one as this one. See, there's no change. But this one you can go cooler or you can go warmer. So if you want to go cooler, you click over here, and it goes cooler, more blue. Over here goes more warm, just like this one. And when you get this, you'll see little plus marks and minus marks over here on the thing to help you out a little bit. This side over here is where the magic really happens in the computer. These are all different kinds of squares that should replicate real life. For example, a blue sky, a skin tone, vice versa. Blue sky is right here, sorry. Green in the forest. It all replicates different scenarios of real life. And then you have your grayscale here and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so this is where the part where you want to actually put it in the computer. Now, when you're taking this picture, you should get close to your subject to do this so that you can focus in on just this area of the Passport here. Because what I did is I shot it the same distance as this one, and I had my subject standing where Mr. Rutan is here, but I had to crop in on it. And then what happened after that is I exported it as a DNG to my desktop, and I brought it into the Color Checker Passport software, which is right here, drag and dropped it, and I zoomed in on him because it didn't detect it automatically because I was too far back. Alright, and then I used this place crop marks to click on the corners here. Okay, usually you have a Lightroom plugin where you can just right click this, go to Export, Color Checker Passport, and then name your profile, and then hit save, and it will automatically do this all for you if you shot it right. And the color checker is more in the middle of the screen like this one is, it's bigger. couldn't detect it automatically in the other one. Alright. So I had to place those crop marks there. Then it found these squares. And then you just hit create profile. You name it. So we're going to go do that. We're going to go Bert Rutan Garage. Okay, I'm going to hit save. And it's going to save this profile. And what it's doing is it's analyzing these colors here. And it knows what those are supposed to be. Alright, so, and, alright, so it's done. Anyway, it knows what these are supposed to be. So it adjusts the colors in the picture in what we call a profile, a camera profile, to be matching to what these colors are supposed to be in real life, because they printed the color checker in a certain way and they know exactly what those colors are. It's to calibrate it, okay? So anyway, our profile's done, and we can go ahead and close Lightroom because we have to restart it. Let's go over here, close that. Alright, and then we come over here to Lightroom again. Wait for it to open. And now we have our profile in here. Now I just did one, so here we go. We want to go Bert Rutan Garage. Alright. So watch the change here. Okay. So first we're going to go and we're going to set our white balance here. Alright, so we got his skin tones corrected. And then we're going to go and adjust our profile. Now you have all these different profiles depending on which kind of camera manufacturer you use. Usually, what the camera manufacturer wants us to use is portrait. So look at the difference here. It's a huge difference in color. Alright, this is Adobe Standard here. This is what it came out of the camera as. And this is what it will look like after the profile. So you see how these colors changed here? It's a big, huge difference. Alright, that to that. Okay, so I'm going to turn that on and off. Alright, so you can see that's a huge difference rather than just doing the white balance. Okay, that to that. See how his skin has like a purple tint to it, but it doesn't here? Really subtle. I just go and hit this again just for kicks. Alright, there's how you have it. This thing is awesome for getting perfect color at the right time, 100% accurate every single time. This is the way to go. It's $100 on Amazon. I'll also put a link in the description of where you can find it. I would strongly recommend this for anyone who cares about having accurate color in their photos. If you're a person who doesn't really care about that and goes and tones them anyway and makes them look all funky, that's cool. But if you want to actually have great color that looks natural, or if you're shooting products, this is like a must-have. You can't do this with a gray card. You can get close, but it's not going to be perfect. So people, you got to use this color checker passport. It's the only thing that is going to give you 100% accurate color that I trust. And it's so small, it just fits up right in your back pocket like a size of passport. Super easy. Totally worth it. Go out there and buy it right now. Again, I'm Matt Leitholt, and this is a shot with Bert Rutan. He's a legendary aerospace engineer. I just did this at his cabin here in Idaho. It's freaking awesome. And hopefully this picture will live on in his museum for a long time. Alright everyone, have an awesome time. I am out. Thank you very much.